The writing of Sayaka Miki is genius. And I feel like there aren't nearly enough people talking about it. Although she didn't make it to the end of the series, she played a big part in teaching us as viewers what it means to be a magical girl. I would even go as far as to say she has some of the best development and writing throughout the story. This video is essentially just going to be me sifting through Sayaka's storyline and talking about the things that were done well with her character and highlighting what makes her so important to the overall story. To do this, I will be dividing her arc into halves, analyzing her character before and after she became a magical girl. Now, we will start by discussing Sayaka pre-exposure. As we start our discussion of Sayaka, I think it's only fair to start by saying that, at least in this timeline, she wasn't supposed to be a magical girl. At the start of the series, Kyubey was in search of Madoka. Sayaka, by pure coincidence, stumbled upon Homura's attack on Kyubey and learned about magical girls. Additionally, in the 2012 Madoka Magica Portable, Sayaka's route depicts her, once again, stumbling across the existence of magical girls accidentally. Between both sources, there is never a moment that Kyubey actively seeks out Sayaka as he did Madoka. In the anime, Sayaka was considered a plan B in case Madoka didn't form a contract. And in the game, Kyubey just wanted more numbers. On another note, according to her wiki, Sayaka didn't always form a contract with Kyubey. When she does, she is fated to become a witch. We can see this during Homura's second reset, where Sayaka refuses to accept that Kyubey lied to them. We receive a short scene of the girls defeating a transformed Sayaka, and later see Madoka using her grief seed to save Homura. We can assume that it was hers based on the music score on the side of the grief seed. Seeing as this is the only timeline in the show that we see Sayaka as a magical girl, it is likely that she didn't form a contract in the other timelines. We don't know whether she met a happy or fatal end in these timelines, but what we know for sure is that Sayaka was at her best before crossing paths with Kyubey. It was after meeting Mami that we saw the first shift in Sayaka, this being her perception of magical girls. She considers there to be two types, the selfless type and the selfish type, each distinguished by their reasons for killing witches. Mami is meant to represent the selfless magical girls, their goal being to destroy witches for the sake of protecting civilians. Then, there are the selfish types, their goal being to destroy witches to receive grief seeds for their own self-preservation. Sayaka believed Homura represented this grouping given the opposition she showed to Mami. Sayaka obviously didn't take kindly to this and she saw Mami as an inspiring mentor. The irony behind this becomes that Mami, who Sayaka considered to be a selfless magical girl, made a wish most catered to self-preservation. Every other girl made their wishes surrounding the outcome of someone else. For instance, Kyoko made her wish for her father and family, while Homura made her wish for Madoka. Mami, despite likely having the potential to save herself and her family, only used it to save herself. Don't get me wrong, I don't blame her for not thinking of them at the moment, but ultimately, it can still be considered a more selfish wish. So when we look at Mami as a character, we can see that she is more well-maintained. We've seen her able to make use of her parents' inheritance appropriately to take care of herself. With her circumstances, Mami was able to learn that in order to take care of others, she has to take care of herself. It is due to her self-sustaining nature that she is able to be self-sacrificial. Sayaka was unable to learn the importance of self-preservation as Mami did, and so she was never going to become the magical girl Mami was. It was after Mami's death that Sayaka decided that Mitakihara City was in need of a hero, and it was her own pride that led her to fill those shoes. Even in death, we see Mami's influence on Sayaka as a magical girl, seeing as her fighting style is directly mirrored by Sayaka. But no matter how similar she can try to be to her mentor, there will always be one difference to set them apart, that being their wishes. The concept of a selfless wish was introduced with Mami's character. Although we've already discussed that her wish was meant to be quote-unquote selfish, the idea of a selfless wish was proposed by Sayaka. Initially, she wanted to run the wish by Mami to get her approval, mostly because she was warned to be careful and satisfied with the wish she makes. The wish she had on her mind was to heal her childhood best friend and crush, Kyosuke, who was injured in an accident. This was ultimately met with indirect opposition from Mami, who tried convincing her to rethink the idea. She then posed a question that becomes important to Sayaka as a character and her motivations.
ミキさん、あなたは彼に夢を叶えてほしいの？それとも彼の夢を叶えた恩人になりたいの？
This one question manages to reframe the intention of the wish, and ultimately the wish itself. The determining factor is whether the wish is made for her benefit or Kyosuke's. If it truly is for Kyosuke, the wish remains selfless. But if it is for hers, then it ultimately becomes selfish. To put this in perspective, let's look at Kyoko's wish. Kyoko is meant to reflect Sayaka due to her also making a selfless wish, though hers was made for her father. Her wish was, I wish that everyone would listen to what my father has to say. We as viewers can see in the anime itself that this wish affected the people in her town, forcing them to listen to her father's teachings and joining his congregation. It is possible that Sayaka's wish could have had a similar effect on Kyosuke depending on the intention of the wish and how she worded it. Due to Mommy's opposition, Sayaka put her wish on the back burner for some time. That was until one day she went to visit Kyosuke as usual. During her visits, Sayaka often likes to bring him classical music CDs in an attempt to make him feel better. This ultimately backfires as Kyosuke perceives it as a means of torture.
なんで今でもまだ僕に音楽なんか聴かせるんだ。嫌がらせのつもりなのか。
だって京介音楽好きだから。
もう聴きたくなんかないんだよ。自分で弾けもしない曲ただ聴いてるだけなんて。僕は動かないんだ。もう痛みさえ感じない。こんな手なんて。
This solidifies in Sayaka's mind that the best wish for her to make is to heal Kyosuke's hands, and that is exactly what she does. Though, sometime after, she wonders if she made the right decision, revisiting Mommy's question to determine if she only made the wish for her own benefit. It is only after becoming a magical girl that she realizes the job is a lot more than she bargained for.